Hi, my name is Brenda Diva, and I wanted to talk to you about how our curriculum at Ballard and Ty called Champion of Ideas can be used at a multi-level newcomer class. It really is pitched at a newcomer level, meaning students new to the country, maybe year one, around year two, but we all know newcomer class can definitely be multi-leveled with some with no English, some a little bit more, and then some at the higher levels of a level 2, maybe even a 3. Champion of Ideas is created specifically for 6th through 12th grade, so secondary, and you might have all of your 7th grade class together, and that's why there is that multi-level grouping. But here is chapter 4, Making a Living. Chapter 4 is not exactly at the beginning of Champion of Ideas, but you can see a lot of foundational language when we talk about vocabulary of bank, barber, carpenter, teller, right? So these are people of specific occupations. Vocabulary that is taught through images. We do have a picture dictionary that comes with the program with some sample sentences for those students. But students at a higher level might be talking about apologize, contribute, right? Install. So different higher level vocabulary, expensive maybe, but definitely you'll have the different levels of academic vocabulary. In our chapter overview, this is the lesson overview, but in the chapter overview, there's actually a specific section for academic vocabulary, definitely pitched a little bit more for those higher levels. So where this lesson is at, I would call it around a 1.5. So students not at the 0 English level, maybe not even 1, but you can definitely scaffold down for them, and then a little bit higher for those level 2s and 3s. But every lesson follows the same flow. We always start with a warm-up. We then have a connect and extend. But within those pieces, you are going to see that we always do target vocabulary, right, with images. So that's going to be definitely for the level 1s, identifying, naming those occupations. But if you look here, describe occupations. So students of higher level, we're working on how to describe those occupations. Again, target vocabulary with visuals. You're also going to see a lot of grammar. So we care a lot about grammar. This time it's going to be the writing conventions of capital letters and ending punctuations. Definitely important to teach, whether level 1 or level 2, right? And something for refinement for those higher levels. But you are going to see listening and speaking practice to then write using the vocabulary. Within this lesson, you'll see the connect section that's over different days, like maybe 3 class periods, but you're going to have, again, that practice with vocabulary, again, that grammar. So noun, proper noun, right? With the capital letters, you're going to then have a verb so students can practice following commands, a lot of that listening practice. You're going to then have, again, more capital letters and the concept of a contraction. After grammar, you're going to always do the reading section. So the reading difficulty level might be a little bit higher than what you're thinking, which is great because you'll have the vocabulary in a context for the lower levels, and then the higher levels, we'll look at that shortly. But you're going to have, you know, the pre-reading always, then read the text. Teachers, do your best lecture. You know, I know you're really good at that already. And then the comprehension questions. Extend will have more grammar and definitely some kind of writing component. So here you'll see singular versus plural for the vocabulary words. And then you'll have the concept of an adjective and the opposite of that adjective, which is great practice. So for the lower levels, just learning the opposite. For the higher levels, maybe using the correct opposite or the correct adjective. And then you'll see here main idea with details, right? So again, that academic approach, that language for the academic, you know, levels of level 2 and level 3, where the lower levels are maybe just identifying vocabulary or what happened, right, in the story. And then you're going to introduce the writing process. We always encourage the writing process, and definitely you're going to have them write a short text. This time it is a letter asking for advice. So for writing for a specific purpose. In all of our lesson plans, you will see here it's completely scripted for the teacher. Whether you use the scripting or not, that's up to you, but it is scripted for that level. So again, scripting for about a 1.5 here, and you can see You can talk about, more simple things for the lower levels and ask more questions for the higher levels. So a carpenter uses a hammer, so a tool that the occupation person is using. And then you'll see here a teller that works at a bank. We're going to look at this picture. Ask Eddie. This is the reading. If you want a sample of this entire packet, please let one of your reps know. But here you'll see Dear Eddie, right? Like, so the bank teller, mechanic. For the lower levels, definitely finding the vocab words in context. They already used images to look up. And, money, very important, right? For the higher levels, really trying to understand how the vocabulary is used together, what is being talked about in the reading, and maybe for the higher levels, like level 3 and up, paraphrase the sentence, summarize it, right? So you're going to have a lot of different options there for those levels. But throughout, you'll see we do work a lot with the vocabulary. Numbers, very good for the low levels, but refinement for the higher levels. You're going to see noun, person, place, thing, right? And then you're going to see verb here, contractions, all that grammar is in here for you as a teacher to then teach for the different levels. Pre-reading, then you'll have the reading plus the comprehension. When you do the lecture, level it for the different groups when you ask questions. And then you'll have singular versus plural, adjective, and the opposites, right? So we talked about that, maybe an anchor chart for the lower levels, or just creating a list where the higher levels have to use these words in a new context. Now, you'll see a lot of activities. So worksheets that we include, here are some examples of that, what's wrong. So you're going to have students change the punctuation and capitalization because that's what they were practicing, right? Rewriting the sentences with contractions. And then the opposite word, we talked about all of those. However, we do have some with reading comprehension or the details. So you'll see the questions, maybe only circle certain questions for the level 1s to answer, all of it for level 2, level 3, start here and maybe have a more detailed answer. But again, you could see it's very simple to take the lesson as is at level 2, go a little bit lower and a little bit higher for multi-level. The test is going to be fairly good for the low level and level 2, maybe too simple for the level 3s, and you can always add something to that. But again, at Ballard and Ty, our comprehensive curriculum of Champion of Ideas, really making it a complete program, is flexible enough to go multi-level, and I hope you saw that today. Thank you. Bye.